The most dangerous believer. Expanded. Satan doesn't waste time on the obvious sinners. He doesn't chase the ones who hate God. He already owns the people who don't care. His real target is the religious person who thinks they're safe, the mass attender who never converts, the prayer mumbler who never changes, the "I'm better than most" believer who compares instead of repents. They look holy, they feel holy, they act holy, but inside they rot silently, and that's exactly why hell loves them. They don't resist Satan. They don't recognize sin. They don't grow spiritually. They live with a cross necklace, but no cross on their back, and Satan loves every second of it. Part 1. The believer who never fights back. Satan's easiest prey is not the evil person. It's the comfortable person. Comfort destroys spiritual hunger. Comfort kills discipline. Comfort blinds you to danger. The good Catholic thinks, "I'm not doing anything wrong." Exactly, you're also not doing anything right. They don't fight temptation. They just avoid anything too serious. They don't seek God. They seek convenience. Satan doesn't have to break them. He just has to keep them busy, nice, harmless, and unchanged. A passive believer is spiritually useless. A believer who never fights is already defeated. That's the soul hell invests in, the one that sleeps through their own destruction. Part 2. The trap of false confidence. Most good Catholics don't sin boldly. They sin confidently. They think their small sins are too tiny to matter. They think their routines make them safe. They think their good heart covers everything. This is hell's perfect strategy, not to attack your beliefs, but to corrupt your confidence. Whispers like, "You're fine. God understands. You're not like those bad people. You pray more than most." This creates the most deadly spiritual disease, self-righteousness with zero transformation. They look at others' failures and use that to excuse their own. They never question themselves, never confront the sins they're addicted to, never sacrifice anything. Their faith becomes a shield to hide behind, not a sword to fight with. This is the soul Satan doesn't want to destroy. He wants it unchanged, untouched, unshaken. Because unchanged Christians are the ones that slip into hell quietly. Part 3. The moment hell smiles. When death hits, these believers panic because they suddenly realize they don't love holiness, they don't hate sin, they don't desire God, they don't hunger for heaven. Why? Because they never built any of those desires while alive. They fed pleasure, not virtue. They fed pride, not humility. They fed comfort, not discipline. Their soul is spiritually empty. In life, they acted religious. In death, that mask falls off instantly. This is the moment hell has been waiting for. A soul that believed they were safe, discovering they were spiritually dead the whole time. No drama, no screaming, just realization, slowly crushing them. Part 4. The sin they never took seriously. The most dangerous sin isn't the huge one. It's the small one you excuse every day. Satan knows that. Murder destroys the body, but tolerated sin destroys the soul slowly. The good Catholic loves these lines. It's not that big a deal. I'm not doing worse than others. At least I believe in God. God knows my heart. These are not excuses. These are chains. Chains made from habits, excuses, pride, and laziness. Small sins repeated for years create a hardened soul. A soul that can no longer feel conviction. A soul numb to spiritual danger. And the second they die, these chains tighten. not because God traps them, because they built those chains themselves. Hell doesn't need you to fall quickly. A slow fall is enough, as long as you never rise. Part 5. The judgment they never expected. This is the shock people never see coming. At judgment, God shows you your soul without your excuses. No hiding, no pretending, no reputation, no comparisons, no Catholic identity to hide behind, just the naked truth of who you became. And the good Catholic hears the words they avoided their whole life. You believed I existed, but you never let me transform you. Heaven is not for those who tried sometimes. Heaven is for those who surrendered. Hell is not filled with monsters. It's filled with people who stayed spiritually lazy. People who thought believing in God was enough while living a life that never reflected Him. Part 6. Why Satan loves them more than sinners. Satan hates repentant sinners. He hates people who are broken but honest. He hates anyone who fights. But he adores the nice, religious, comfortable Catholic. Why? Because they don't pray with power, don't resist temptation, don't examine themselves, don't grow, don't change, don't fight hell, don't carry their cross, don't walk in holiness. They look spiritual, but they produce nothing spiritual. They're lukewarm, predictable, blind, proud of their minimal effort. These people are more useful to hell than atheists. Atheists don't pretend. Good Catholics pretend so much that they never realize they're drowning. And hell simply waits. Part 7. The final revelation of a wasted life. When their soul stands alone, everything collapses. I wasn't evil, not enough. I believed in God. So does Satan. I prayed sometimes. So what? You never changed. I was a good person. Good by your standards, not God's. The tragedy is brutal. They lived their whole life thinking they were safe because they were never challenged. They had religion, but not transformation. They had habit, but not holiness. They had comfort, but not conversion. And Satan smiles, not because he stole them, but because they walked into hell themselves, slowly, quietly, confidently, thinking they were saints. In the end, the greatest pain isn't the sin you committed. It's the holiness you were meant to choose but kept postponing. The battles God prepared you for, that you never stepped into. The moments of grace you ignored. The purpose you abandoned because you thought you had more time. And the life you quietly wasted, believing you were safe when your soul was slowly drifting away. Don't become the soul that opens its eyes after death and realizes the truth when no choices remain. Don't be the heart that wakes up only when the gates have already closed. If this stirred something inside you, even a small whisper, don't wait for another sign. Don't wait for a perfect moment. Don't wait for tomorrow. Change your life now, while God is still calling you, while mercy is still reaching for you. Like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon, because someone you love may need this warning far more than you could ever imagine.